Well, good evening and welcome. This is Strong and Sassy here on your Superstation Joy 99.7 FM. It's Wednesday, which means it's almost Friday, which means it's almost Sunday. So the weekend is almost here, and then Monday is right after that. So, I mean, basically, we just move. But it's so great that you've joined us tonight. I know that you could be anywhere, and we're always grateful when you choose to be here on Joy 99.7 FM. So tonight I have very usual suspects. Amma.
Hi,
Amma, who's on Netflix now, and it's
very brother, yes, true.
Very, very important.
Thank you.
But it's good to see you. I'm sure you guys remember Amma and I were on the very first episode of Strongest, the very first with Nashako and Anita Eskin, and well, she's back here today, so we are very grateful for you.
Oh, when you say that,
presence.
It sounds as if since then this is my next time. The next time I'm
just
here.
Teasing you.
I've been here.
Yeah. It's good to see you.
I have a seat here.
Indeed, you're doing some amazing stuff, aren't you?
Yes.
Producing and directing and taking over Netflix and things. We're really excited. Really excited.
Thank you.
And then, of course, Stubborn Academy President, Aram. Hi, Aram.
The fighter.
I know, right? The one who has been beating boys and things.
Anymore, you need to stop saying that. Someone at the office was asking me the other day. I'm like, I don't know what she's talking about.
But you said it on the show.
Stop saying it. It's in the past.
Okay.
You're ruining my street cred.
Okay. Doesn't it make you more
credible?
My in-laws are not going to be happy
because they are going to beat us.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then Essinam will be joining us as well. She's on her way. So tonight we're talking about the demise of relationships. These days, as soon as you hear
it's over.
As soon as you hear
it's over.
The relationship is over.
It's not you, it's me.
It's gone from hashtag couple goals, hashtag bagels, hashtag
vacation.
I know the painful thing when a relationship ends and all the pictures are taken on social media, we don't get an explanation for what happened.
It's so unfair. This is our relationship.
We need closure.
Yes.
Yeah, so those of you who are on social media with your relationships, when it ends, please write a short obituary.
Yeah. You need to give us closure
so that we know what happened. Anyway, so we're discussing maybe why relationships are ending much more quicker these days than they used to. So what I wanted us to do is I wanted us to break it into two. Mm-hmm. So the reasons why women are breaking up with men more quickly, and then the reasons why men are breaking up with women more quickly. So the things women do that are not nice, and the things that men do that are not. And we'll open the phone lines, of course, because I know the men will say we're always talking for them. Yeah. So, of course, we'll give you a chance to participate in the conversation. So, Amma, let me start with you. What do you think is the number one reason why relationships are not just going like the long haul anymore?
I think we are in an era where nobody wants to be vulnerable to the person they're in a relationship with, even when you have gotten to the point of real affection, as in falling in love. You're still holding back. You're thinking, no, he should say it first or she should say it first. So we all hold back. Nobody gives 100% anymore. And we are in the mode of detachment. Even before something happens, we are like, oh, let me be prepared. So in case something goes wrong, it's easy to move on. I have a strategy for that.
Wow. Okay, I was expecting you were waiting for it.
Okay. So because of that, there isn't 100% commitment towards making things work.
We are interested.
My strategy is that I don't memorize a guy's number in my head.
Okay.
So when something is going wrong, I'm quick to delete your number.
And then you don't know
and
it.
So I don't embarrass myself by calling you. Oh, why you not answering my call? So I don't think you get that from me. I don't think anybody will come and say, oh, Amma was calling me and begging me. Even when I felt like doing it, I couldn't access you because I didn't have your number.
But you could Facebook message them, Instagram, DM.
No, I think my current relationship is the only time that I've been Facebook friends. with the person.
Hey,
I
Amma,
mean,
you too. I remember your. It's okay. Today I seem to be
it's a
remembering new face.
new face.
Okay, so there's a current relationship.
Yes,
Oh, that
I
makes
am.
me so happy.
Thank you.
How, are you behaving yourself?
Oh yes, I am. I'm a good girl, like I've always been. Well, I've had a few shenanigans, but I'm fine.
wow.
Yes.
Shenanigans.
You know, it's the trauma.
Yeah, it's always the trauma. Everybody needs to go to therapy.
Okay.
I don't really agree with that anymore.
You don't agree with that? Why?
That therapy thing. I tried it, and it's from my own experience.
It didn't work.
Maybe it's the one I got.
What
Yeah.
happened?
It wasn't satisfactory. It wasn't. I was really committed towards it, but I don't like the way it went eventually.
Oh,
That's unfortunate.
yeah, that's very
Yeah.
unfortunate when your therapist lets you down. Yeah.
But
right?
I wish them well. So I don't want them to feel bad in case they are listening.
Okay, well, we wish you well. So we'll move on, even though
Yeah.
I have so many questions.
Maybe
And
another
you
day.
have better recommendations, but after the show.
Maybe I don't know. For now, I'm done with that.
Okay, you're done for now. So, Aaron, for you, what's your number one? So, for you, your number one thing is the not wanting to be.
Yeah, commitment. People are holding back. Everybody is afraid. So we're already prepared for a breakup before the breakup happens. So anything happens, we're quick to dash out.
Wow.
Yeah. Mine will be lack of communication.
Okay.
That's my number one, because which would be tied into what Amma said, because people are not speaking their feelings. People are not saying what they need to say, and then sometimes it's the delivery of what they are saying, when they are saying it, how they're saying it. And like she said, if you don't tell people, I go with this phrase that you need to give people what they say they want, not what you think they need. And to be able to do that, the person needs to tell you what they want or what their expectations are. And for me, I've come to the conclusion that the number one issue that we're having in most relationships is unmet expectations. And it's also because the expectations
Unexpressed
are
expectations.
unexpressed or uncommunicated. So I want this, we're talking to everybody and we're keeping it anonymous, except telling the person,
Who can actually do
relationship.
something about
And
it.
sometimes I don't blame people, because I've had experiences where I've been with people that I can't have the conversation with because they are not making themselves available, or they are not listening to what I'm saying. And then when I say it once, you tell me you've heard, and then I have to say it again, and then nothing is changing, and I have to say it again, and then you say that I'm nagging. So I am unable to communicate what I want to you, one, because you're not listening, and two, you're not affecting the changes. How many times do I have to say it before it becomes a thing? So for me, my first one is lack of communication. Do
You
want me
know
to
what?
do
Your
this?
lack of communication has. So there was lack of communication in there.
Yeah.
There was unmet and unexpressed expectations.
They are not communicating the expectations.
Then there was the fact that you're not doing anything about the things that have communicated. So that's actually three things,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Because communication is not just about expressing expectations. There's other aspects, right?
Obviously.
So so let's just take it as for you is communication. So is this from the girl's side or this is for both?
Both.
Okay.
And then, do you want me to add something else?
You look like you want to.
Yeah, then the next one will be selfishness. And then, like, the people in my comments have said, Momo. Like, how this ties into this conversation, I don't know. On Facebook, most people are like, Momo is leading to the demise of most relations.
When I hear
I
things
get-
like that, I cannot relate.
I also can't. I'm like,
I can't relate, but I understand.
I'm like, what people are you
But
dating?
Momo, who is saying it? The guys or the girls?
I
the
think
guys.
that comes from the guys.
Yeah, so
Complain
which
that
means
women
that
are always
they're
asking for.
tired.
But like I said, I cannot relate because the people I have around me and myself, I don't see us chasing after Momo.
Exactly. I'm like,
But
what
that's
kind of
From
you.
people are you
anybody, we are
dating?
not
Yeah.
asking for Momo before we come and see you. Because like I like you enough, and I can take care of myself.
One guy posted
When you give
that,
me something, I will take it though.
One guy posted, I really like you and I would call you to check on you, but I'm afraid it will turn into a fundraising event.
Well, the people with such experience, I'm sorry, but they've made it hard for me to even tell somebody, ask for something starting with, can you do me a favor? Maybe the favor I'm trying to ask for is, oh, I know you're going towards Awudome. Can you pick up this person at this junction for me? But the moment I start with, can you do me a favor? The first thought that comes to their mind is I'm coming to ask for money. Yeah. But that's not what I'm thinking of. And makes me wonder the kind of women they are dealing with every day that makes them feel that the relationship, it's all about taxing. They are getting taxed.
Call it billing.
But it's a reality.
It is.
It's a reality.
See, we don't want to, let's not diminish that, because it's actually happening. And I keep telling my male friends that, listen, you people need to set your own standards. You should be able to tell yourself that, listen, I don't want to date a girl who can't pay for her own hair or transportation. Like, we're going somewhere, let's say we're going on a date or you're coming to visit me, why are you charging me? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah,
you need to be able to say that. So if that happens, let the person know that this is unacceptable. I wonder,
Aram, I mean, I'm trying to be understanding of women who perhaps don't have enough. So if you say that, okay, come and meet me at KFC Hacho, for example, that was very specific. But if you say come and meet me somewhere, for her it's really a problem in terms of financing the trip. So, she will open up and say, okay, you know what, maybe I'm going through a really difficult time, so can you pick me up? So I'm trying to find the empathy for that. And also the fact that there's a certain sort of value in being able to carry yourself to a date. And then saying, okay, I want to do this or I don't want to do this. I'm going to pay for half of it or I'm not going to pay for half of it. And then I'm going to finance myself out of the date. Yes. But it's a thin line, isn't it? Because sometimes you're just...
See, sometimes there are people who everything... like, I've had guys tell me that you tell a girl to send a picture, she says, send me data. Like, it's as basic...
No, but I think that there are particular women who actually date for that purpose. And some have even been encouraged to look for provider men. And they feel that that's the best way to go about it. By the moment he says hi to me, he needs to know that I am expecting to be taken care of. So that's how they go up. There's new and a lot of content creators, women, who encourage women. They cover it with the term femininity. Be feminine, be in your feminine energy and be taken care of. Get a provider. Don't let him pay for everything. But what some of these women who take this advice, hook, line and sinker, don't know is most of the time that woman is making money out of that content. So the man she's showing you off as a supposed provider, she's actually providing the soft life for herself, because she's making thousands of dollars from the content she's creating about you finding a provider man. So you pick her advice and you throw yourself on somebody, expecting a treatment that you cannot even give yourself. But in times past, anytime I get invited somewhere, if I cannot afford to go there on my own, I would come up with an excuse. I can't make it, because I always want to have my vex money. In case
you bore,
I get up. Pay for my food, get transportation, and go home.
I mean, there's a certain element of safety in being able to do that.
Safety. But you see, how can you be safe?
Aram has a story of how she beat somebody as a restaurant. I promise you.
So, true life story, right? So, I'm waiting for an Uber. I go out with my girls. The woman is not coming. So, I called him. Like, where are you? It's like, he's coming. What happened? He said he picked a certain girl. He was dropping the girl off. The girl came out dressed, got to the spot. She didn't have money, so she was calling the guys who invited her out to come and pay for the car. The guys too are telling her that, come pay for the car and come and we'll pay. Sister she didn't have.
Why would you do that to yourself?
Like, why would you? What if anything happened or you were calling the guys and they were not picking? Then fine girl like you
can't pay for the
Uber. Why?
Anyway, I think we can have a whole episode about how some women put their entire safety in the hands of another human being, a man. Like, they can't think for themselves anymore. They don't even know how to provide. They've never had to work. Everything, they are fully dependent on another person, and they are quick to tell you that, you know, you should be a very feminine woman.
But isn't that what patriarchy preaches, though?
Well,
hello, Auntie Sinamo, where's Zolo Akwaba?
Adulthood is a scam.
That's a whole discussion on it.
Yeah.
Just think about the freedom.
A little stress.
I want to go back to the days where I didn't know how much it cost
to do anything. Yeah. Oh well. Here we are.
Yes.
You're right.
I'm okay.
Okay.
So
you were responding to Amma.
I was saying that isn't that the position of patriarchy though, that a man is supposed to take care of a woman, and we as a society have agreed to the terms and conditions it comes with, i.e. the man is the head of the home. The man is supposed to provide for the family. You are supposed to be taken care of. Some men say, quote unquote, I get pleasure from taking care of my woman. So it is the general position that some of us have taken too literally. But seriously, that is what we've been told growing up. So until you decide that, okay, I don't subscribe to this policy anymore, I'm creating my own formula where I take care of myself. But that means that I have certain independence that the woman who is dependent on a man does not have.
Yeah.
And for a society, we are gradually getting to the place where we are okay with the women being independent, but we're not okay with the not having to subscribe to the whole leadership and the whole headship kind of thing. We are okay with one side of it, or we are not. We can't say that. It's either we are taking patriarchy or we are evolving into the society where we are all treated equal. But if we have it as we have it, we shouldn't complain when some women are existing purposely for someone to pay their way out of life.
I saw a meme this week that said there are a lot of guys out there who are looking for submissive providers.
Exactly.
Like they're looking for
exactly,
because they're asking you to bring something,
but
they expect you to be earning money, but they're also expecting you to be submissive and watch them lead and do everything. They're expecting you to still do the 100% homemaking and still take part of the bill, and they just take the 50% of the bill. So they're still not helping you with the home.
Wow, that's very
so even though they are still telling you to allow yourself to be taken care of, they are still expecting you to be earning money. You hear some of these people tell you, oh, the Proverbs, is it 31?
The virtuous woman.
Yeah, the virtuous woman. Oh, the virtuous woman, she was not poor. She was not jobless. She was working. They would jump, the virtuous woman, she was working, but she was still, they're very confusing.
The husband, he was outside playing dummy.
They are very, it's very confusing. I just feel that whatever position you want to take in, just make sure that you're secured. I'm very heavy on security.
I love Proverbs 31. I do. But it puts a lot of pressure on women. The interpretation puts a lot of pressure.
Is there any chapter which we can say?
The virtuous man,
Mark 24, which is for the virtuous man,
or or the
standard man.
Yeah,
exactly. There are a lot of demands on women, a lot of unrealistic demands on women, and when we want to go into it, we'll not finish.
But people are quick to quote about women being submissive, but they leave out the title
of today's show is things that destroy relationships.
Let's really back.
So two of you are like that, always taking the show in a different direction.
They are like that.
Oh. Me, do something like that.
Okay, so Esinam, since you've joined us,
yes, my take on the topic.
So Ama's number one was people don't want to be vulnerable. Aram gave us one, which was actually 3: communication, expression of needs, and then acting on the needs, which is typical Aram. Ask her one, she'll give 3 hands. So everybody. So now you two say something so that the Sakawa boys will chase us.
Oh, you know that me when I open my mouth, wahala.
So for you, what's the number one thing that is really destroying relationships from the inside?
Yes, we are being hypocrites. That's the number one thing that's destroying our relationships. We are being hypocrites and not having the kind of sex that we want, the kind of partners that we want. We are pretending. That's all. Then the tintin in the tete we are all pretending and not being with the partners that we want to be with.
Oh, that one they agree to a point. When they want to settle, they settle for peace. Then they will be cheating on you with the
war. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. I want peace of mind. I'm marrying for peace of mind. But you're marrying somebody who physically you don't find attractive, who you don't have.
Men and women, or just women doing that?
A lot of both. A lot of, in fact, men and women.
I think men marry for peace.
Men
and
marry
then
for security.
They cheat, But I'm finding that the new age woman is marrying a man who just leaves her alone to be everything she can be. I was speaking to a lady who is quite old, mid-80s, and she was telling me that she would not have achieved as much as she had in life if she had stayed married.
Yeah.
And it really hit me because then I started looking at, some of the people that I know that are high achievers. Some of them will come out and, say their husbands are amazing. But some of them are like, you know what, I married somebody who is too busy to be focused on what I'm doing. Otherwise, there'll be a problem. Yeah. Or I married somebody who lives outside. And so for 8 months in a year, he's not here. So I can do what I want. And I'm like, wow, are we like getting to the point where we can't marry people who will just support us? And you have to, like, okay, we want to satisfy society, so you have to get married. Then you have to satisfy yourselves. You have to marry a man who will allow you. It's a lot.
It's a lot. Like, there's so much confusion. So before you make the decision, it's on one hand, what you want to do, you need to be tone deaf. Like, I feel like in this,
I think you just need to know what you want and be so convinced that this is what I want and ready for the consequences and be ready to say, okay, I don't care what people say, I am going for what I want. If you don't get to that position, you will find out that every relationship you go into would fail. Because it's
you're
not what you
compromising
want.
So much.
Exactly. What you compromise to get, you compromise to keep.
So why can't we just date the people that we like?
The people
Because
that
they're not up to.
They are not up to the certain standards that we have unrealistically set.
Oh my God.
Because our expectations are not even our expectations are not based on what we want. It's based on what society has told us to want.
See, you find a guy that is smart, he can communicate. You find a guy that is this, he's not that. So that brings us to the 80-20 rule, which we spoke about 2 weeks ago. That brings us to the conversation where I said, you need to have a plan, like Etinam is saying. You need to know what you want. Now, finding that, you can't find all of that in one person. Then that brings you to the 80-20 rule where you say, okay, this is the 80, this is the 20. And then you would have to compromise some way, somehow, because realistically, you can't find everything you're looking for in one person. But at the end of the day, it needs to be what you want.
As close to what you want.
And you also need to understand that even you are not 100%.
Exactly.
I don't know about that.
No.
I don't know about that.
You
Beyonce and I, we don't know about that. We don't know about y'all, but
no, do not do that. Don't say that. Nobody is 100%. Nobody is 100%.
Jesus is 100%.
So you accept that, and then, like you said,
my Jesus.
What you do a scale of preference. What's very important.
What are your non-negotiables?
When the person takes those ones, and then the rest.
So another reason why our relationships are breaking down is because we're not being true in terms of what we want.
And in terms of the expectations that we have going into relationships. We don't communicate our expectations.
Yeah, Aram said that.
That this is the type of relationship I want, because ideally, realistically, most of us don't even know the type of relationship.
Are we also afraid to say what we want?
Exactly, yes. Yeah. Because maybe what you want may not be the conventional thing. Maybe what you want may be out of the ordinary, and you are scared to come across as that person who is not going according to what everybody does. So maybe what your style and your preferences are a bit different. Maybe you're a bit kinky. Maybe you're the type of person who goes overboard on the love thy neighbor as thyself. right?
But I think, and maybe to sometimes, you know,
Wait,
you
let's
guys
pause
are
on
good,
that.
but you are meeting at the wrong time.
The love that your neighbor has herself, is it what it means literally or it means something else?
Why are you looking at my face? I'm not the
Because
one
you
who
rolled
said
your
it.
eyes.
Estina, please, can you explain what you said?
Batali left.
Left
Wow.
So let's come back to our mind.
Yeah, I was saying that sometimes the two of you are good together, but you're meeting at the wrong time. Where one person wants commitment. For example, if a guy who's is of a certain age is meeting a lady of a certain age who feels ready for a long commitment, marriage, kids, want kids, and all that. Yet the guy doesn't feel ready to make that much commitment yet, but he wants her, like, you're perfect, but I need a few more years. And the lady is thinking, I don't have a few more years to go. I need you to commit right now, because I don't want you to take another 2 years only to say, you know what, I need another 2 years. So if you don't commit now, I'm leaving. And because of that, they break up, though they are really good for each other and they make each other happy.
The timing.
The timing,
can be
yeah.
an issue. And then I wanted to say like there are met expectations. Let me use myself. Oh my God, that's an example. Like, one thing that is very high on my list, communication is very important to me.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
Yeah, and you see, communication is the life.
Communication solves a lot of problems. So,
You know?
like, it's not a joke. If you can communicate, like, you can't in your life you have a girlfriend and you just falling asleep. Like 8 o'clock, so then like, no, you communicate, babe. I'm feeling sleepy, so potentially I could be asleep soon if you don't. I mean, I do that. Like, I'm kind of tired, so in case I go off, then she doesn't spend the whole night. Is that unreasonable?
It's not.
So, as I was saying, it's important to me, and then I meet people, I'm talking to people, and I'm not getting
The communication.
the way that. And sometimes you'll be surprised that it's basic communication. Like, I'm not asking for a thing, because I'm those people that before I come and say
we know you.
I will break it down.
Yeah.
And you will say it. And then you're like, is it that you're not here? Is it the delivery? Like, what's
the problem?
What's the problem? Then they don't communicate. And you're thinking, you are a grown-ass person. Like, how is this not making sense to you? Then they also don't know what to say, like how to communicate. So that imbalance, it's the cause of some of the like major issues that I've had in most relationships. And you hear men also saying the same thing. So if I don't meet someone with and we're not on the same level of that, it's a big issue for
I think sometimes we are not willing to compromise on that. Like, you expect the person to meet you where you are in how you communicate, but you are not willing to go to their place. Maybe the person is not confrontational, but you are.
I think Abraham is talking about basic communication.
Basic things like text me when you get home, call me, or you call someone and they don't call you back. And then they see you the next day and they are all cheaping. You're thinking, I called you.
No, but for that, I don't think it's somebody who loves you. Somebody who loves you, how can you not answer? Like when I get a text and I see that the name, there's some...
Amma, you'll be surprised. And then you see that people fight over things like good morning text. Like, who should send good morning text, or who is sending...
The best is that if you wake up first, just send it.
And then you would realize that maybe your partner... There are people... I've heard stories of people, like, not texting, and then it's been, like, midday, but you can see them online. You've never heard somebody say, oh, you are not texting me, but I can see you online. Like, what are you doing? You'll be... Like, petty, basic things like this. And there are people...
I think it comes down to what Amma said, that we don't want to be vulnerable. Because when you wake up in the morning and you're thinking of... I wake up very early. So if I'm in a relationship with you, chances are I will be sending the good morning text because I'm up at 4:30. So if I do it for 5 or 6 days in a row, if I'm not confident, then I'll start feeling too vulnerable. It's like I'm always the first person who's saying good. But the thing is, I'm always the one who wakes up first.
So let's say...
And when you go online, somebody has written, if you are the first person, the one always saying good morning first,
then you are...
But meanwhile, it's really... Start thinking maybe there's a problem.
No,
forgetting that you're in a peculiar situation where you wake up first every day.
So that situation, scenario that you just gave. So you wake up early and you send a text. Let's say they wake up at 6, 7 or 8. Then they don't reply your text till like 2 p.m. in the afternoon. But then you would have gone online and see that they've posted,
done
somebody
I mean, I think they're just not interested then. I think
there's another layer of communication that we are not exploring. Being able to communicate your feelings.
Yeah.
Right. Instead of just knowing that you are angry and you are just reacting out of the anger, how about like you can identify your feeling, like what exactly is going on, what exactly you're upset about. Last week, or I think early this week, I returned from a trip and I was very tired, and something happened that upset me, and I was going to react, but I was like, no. I took some time back and I was like, I'm feeling overwhelmed because I'm tired and because I expected some things to be done and they are not done, and so I'm feeling some type of way about it, and that is how I'm feeling now. I'm not angry at you, I'm not angry at the situation, I'm not angry. It's being able to know what exactly is going on with you and being able to communicate that to your partner is one of the biggest causes of breakups.
Has it ever happened to you, like in the middle of an argument, you're just like, I'm just hungry?
No, if I eat, a lot of this will be solved if I just
let's
eat.
take a break. Let me eat. Let me get some ice cream. And
Then
by
we
the time
talk
you
again.
finish, you're like,
You realize
Or you've
that
been
there's
fighting. Have you ever been fighting and then you realize, you just go like, what exactly are we fighting? Like, I was like, what exactly are we fighting
like
about?
I'm just
again?
tired. Like,
I'm
yeah,
just
like,
over this, and then we both started laughing because
Yeah.
like, this is so pointless.
Yeah.
Like, why are we?
So
even,
being able to even see your emotions, have the
also-
awareness to
Absolutely.
just
the emotional intelligence.
Yes, and the
of being able
intelligence.
to.
I
to
also
know what's
think
going on
that
with
there's a problem that's building up really fast and destroying a lot of relationship. When you go online now, there's a lot of therapy talk and words out there.
Everybody's a therapist.
Everybody's a therapist now. Everybody is quick to say, "Oh, it's gaslighting. The person is a narcissist. It's toxic." Boundaries, like
Breadcrumbing.
These
What
are
is
that's my
breadcrumb?
first time hearing that one.
Breadcrumbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are words that are supposed to be used by professionals.
No,
people
you've
who are
diagnosed.
trained.
He's narcissistic.
He's this,
Why,
he's
yes,
and you don't know the full details.
I hear don't
And now
like
when you go
That's all.
online
He ain't
to-
narcissistic. He just doesn't like.
Yeah.
In the back in the day, you'd have said, "Oh, the boy doesn't like me." That's
me,
all. But
that's
now
why he's
there's
not
a
that
fancy
into
name
me.
for it.
But now
Yeah.
we're saying this, and we don't even have the full facts on who a narcissist is, and we are quick to run with that. Now, if you are unfortunate, like I was some time ago, to be consuming a lot of content about things like this, you are going to be on an edge. And every time you're going to be diagnosing yourself, you'll be messing things up before there's reason to even mess it up. When you go, there are a lot of keep me anonymous, and when you read the advice there, you are like, hey. The way some people are quick to say, "Oh, divorce." Like I said, I've been a victim of that before, where I used to also feel like, "Oh my God, this is so scary. Leave now." Yeah, I've been there before. So until I had to hold myself and say, "No, calm down. You need to sieve through the content, the things you're consuming into your mind, the things you're listening to, and." Yes, there are bad people in the world, but everybody isn't bad. You know, you have to start picking things out. Like I said with the text, the good morning thing. You go online, somebody immediately casts doubts in your mind about you being the first person to text. Suddenly, you don't want to be texting anymore.
Yeah.
Even when your partner texts, you take forever to reply. 'Cause if I respond immediately, he will think I'm so into him, and he will start misbehaving. Or she will start misbehaving, and all this is messing up relationships because it makes you hold back. You start you're already detaching before
You're
there's
second
reason.
guessing yourself.
Before
You're
there's
all up
reason
in your
to
head.
detach. You go, people tell you, me, I've never suffered broken heart before. Meanwhile, the person last night was crying over somebody. But online, they've told you this, and suddenly you think that, oh, I also need to be as tough as this popular person on Twitter. So I'm also tough and whatever. I'm not going to talk. I'm just going to BS the person. And you're messing up your relationship. Before you know it, you have a long list of relationships. If you're fortunate, you would be alive to look back and say, oh, I could have handled these things a lot better.
Yeah. I want to talk about red flags because we talk a lot about red flags. But do you guys feel like sometimes... So red flags are red flags. But do you think there are some red flags that are worth a conversation.
Absolutely.
Because
I
the
think
red
so.
flag thing ties in with what am I saying?
Yeah.
It's like a new though red flag.
Yeah,
Because
red
once you
flags,
see it,
yeah.
you
Red
don't know.
flags.
Exactly.
Everything is worth a conversation. And for me, I'm at a place of sitting with my emotions. If I'm uncomfortable with something, like Esinam is saying, what about this makes me uncomfortable? Sometimes my partner will say something and I'm like, I'm not okay, but I don't have the vocabulary to describe what I'm going through, so give me a few minutes to sit on it. But everything that happens in the relationship, it deserves a conversation. I used to be the fight or flight person. Like if some, like she's saying, like, so I can identify, like, yo, because I've had my heart broken. I said I'm not going to get my heart
As soon
broken.
as you
So
see a
like,
glimpse,
You're like,
I'm gone. Yeah.
right? But then
affliction shall not befall you a
second
second
time.
time.
Jesus,
No.
hallelujah.
So I'm like, we move. But then again, I'm in a phase where it's deserving of a conversation. Maybe once, maybe twice.
Yeah.
Then if I've had that, and the only struggle I have is when people start making it sound like you're nagging. And that's one thing an issue I'm having with guys now, where your partner talks to you about something once or talks to you about it, says you're nagging. What are you?
Do you know
But
what?
you see,
nagging?
they're also suffering the same thing I'm
Thing
talking
of-
about.
of-
Because they also go online and there's some red pill guys telling them
there's
that.
a theory. There's a theory called confirmation bias, which is that whatever you think in your head,
You suit
you
the situation
see
to
things that
yeah.
confirm those things.
Yeah.
Oh,
So if you have the thoughts in your head
yeah.
You start
of
seeing things
these,
that align
you
with-
start seeing things that will convince you
of what you have
of
convinced
what you
yourself
are
of.
convincing
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
about.
So by having a mindset shift, you are able to see, okay, I'm not going to conclude with the first thing that comes into my head. I want to be able to weigh all the information and make the best choice for me. Every situation is peculiar. Everybody is different. Relationships don't have a one-size-fits-all formula. You have your own relationship, and the uniqueness of your relationship call for the activities that need to be done to sustain the relationship. So, for example, if you are with somebody who is exhibiting things that you consider as red flags, or they are seeming red flags to you, you should be able to have conversations on them and being able to decide that, okay, is this something I can manage? Is this something that can change? Is this something I can tolerate? Is this part of my non-negotiables? And then you let the person go. So the key thing is having the awareness to even know what your negotiables are and your non-negotiables.
And sometimes the red flags are just unhealed trauma.
Absolutely.
Seriously,
Most of
because
the time.
same way you are
confirmation bias
expecting,
you're talking
yeah,
about.
same way you are expecting grace for your errors and your mistakes, you should be able to give grace.
I have this thing that
for
I do
others
when
to-
I meet people, and it's asked about their past relationships, like what happened, and those answers I try over the years. I don't use it to judge you, but I keep it in my arsenal. And one thing that lets me see is that sometimes people's behaviors, they're either projecting, or that behavior is as a result of a trauma from a past relationship. So you've come into the relationship with them, you need to be mindful of that. That's why I seek out that information. The last time I was telling you the questions that I ask people, and then you see how can you help with that. There are guys who have met, who identify that they have an issue, but they don't have the tools they need to solve those things. So when that thing comes up, I always ask people why. Some of them don't understand why. Then with help, if they are willing to, we can dig into that.
So you do a past relationships analysis?
Not necessarily, but
But yes, it gives you context.
Grace, yes,
To know who you
why
are
the
dealing
person
with.
is doing what they're doing, or like somebody who dated someone who they cheated on them. They are very jittery. Like they will say, okay, they're moving on, but then it's
It's because a lot of us, again, in this part of our world, don't take our emotional health very seriously. So you'd find somebody who claims they've healed from their broken heart, but they've not. They've actually decided to be wicked and dangerous. And then you go and meet them and
They've decided to be wicked and dangerous.
yeah.
haven't done anything. So then they will be trying to micromanage you, or where are you? What are you doing? And you're thinking,
I think, and ladies, we also do the same
the
to
same
guys
thing.
too.
So yes, everything that happens is deserving of a conversation. And finally, I would say that what you need to know what works for you in your relationship. The two of you need to have a way of addressing your issues. You can't just take advice that you've seen online and apply it to your relationship. The two of you needs to know what works for you and use those things to solve the issues.
And I think when taking advice too, you need to know that the person giving the advice can only advise on based on the facts you've given out, and they can never have the whole facts, because one, your intention would never be purely communicated when you are telling them what happened. You don't have that of your partner to share either. So there are a lot of things that cannot be communicated, gaps. So the person giving the advice really cannot give you the best of advice, but they can give you something you can work with. So after you take the advice, you also need to sieve through it and be sure that, okay, there are no confirmation biases, like you're saying, attached to the advice you've received before you implement it in your life.
So I'm going to take our messages in a second, but I want to ask you guys something. What's the number one thing that you guys feel that men do that destroy relationships?
They don't communicate.
I think men are
It's
not
basically
forgiving.
that they don't think that they have to communicate.
And
Is
they are
that
the ones with their communication issues.
It's the thought that one, you are supposed to know some things. Things are there that are supposed to be known.
Like we expect them to read our minds. No, sometimes you don't communicate. You get like, oh, you should know that by now. You should have done this.
That's
for
the
me.
word I don't like to hear. You should know. I am not a mind reader. Use your words. Speak.
A lot of the time, by talking about what's going on with us, that's where the vulnerability is. And a lot of the men in our part of the world have been taught not to be vulnerable. So say less. We hear a lot of a man doesn't talk plenty. A man just says one thing and you are supposed to just follow or just obey. The ability to communicate how they are feeling, what's going on with them, process their emotions, and even get to the point of realizing their own contributions to the challenges they're going through. That kind of awareness is not there for a lot of men. I gather.
To help them, and then they meet their boys and all they do is drink and talk instead of find solutions to the issue.
Have you seen men talking about their relationship struggle with themselves before?
Nope. They'll just be like, "Oh, found you another babe." Finish. That's the.
But I think men. I think the number one problem for men is men are not forgiving as women are.
No, I'm asking a question. Have you seen?
Why are the men upset?
You should see us in the studio. Hey, you people should calm down.
You tell your bros in your WhatsApp group
and
that.
And when you tell your bros, what do they tell you?
Nothing.
It is well, calm down. Find another girl.
Basically. Yeah. Okay, let me take some of the messages. Aram, can you do the messages for me?
The first, this is from Korsechi. He says, "I'm glad to see all you ladies today, especially Aram and Kaftina on the panel for today's topic."
See, I'm meeting a Kaftina.
Wow.
Wow.
And then the other
like
messages that
Kaftan female version. Andrew.
Wow, Kaftina.
Andrew says the world is basically on our fingertips and we are always comparing ourselves with others. Social media has put pressure on us, making us have unrealistic expectations even though we are not perfect. And this one came from Andrews. And then Rodalyn says, great submission, ladies. What messages do we have next? Okay, so hello anymore. My name is Raf. The first contribution of Esna made me say, oh my God.
Here we go again. Yeah, we will never stop going.
Can you blame them when the traditional religious and cultural practices condition the girl child who grew into an adult expecting another human to be responsible for their upkeep, and the boy child grow into an adult conditioned to assume monetary responsibility and disassociate from basic survival chores? Hey, thank God you're in the studio. You in the studio saw the light and are responsible human beings. You will struggle to even get 1 out of 10 ladies who understand their upkeep is their responsibility. Blame the upbringing, sisters. That's the genesis of it all. Open the phone and let me share my experience.
Wow,
Hello, strong and sassy. With the topic being discussed, to me, I think we should be realistic and prioritize what actually makes you love the person and forget the other things, because no one is perfect. But you can leverage on what makes you like the person. Good evening, panelists. Good discussion. These are my personal contributions to the discussion. So to him, what makes a relationship demise is failure to study each other well before making marriage decisions, disrespect for each other, lack of proper communication, lack of emotional intelligence and maturity, and unnecessary interference from friends. And that's from Edmond.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we agree with that. And then, hey, today, dear, I will listen. If I listen to my wife will be in trouble.
Okay.
From
But why?
Why though?
Why though? Okay. Reasons why. Okay, K can break up with K.
Reasons why I
can break up with my lovely but sometimes annoying Grace. Age, booblaja. But indeed, I love her more when she's angry or nagging about the petty stuff. I know she's listening now. Grace Odro.
Small
Hey,
my troublesome love. Grace.
y'all be chopping love.
I think this is what they say about men liking drama.
Oh my God.
I think that's what he's saying.
And then we have one said, good evening anymore and friends. Most men involve their former girlfriends into their new relationship and they hardly forgive. Some also behave as if they've already married you, disrespected. This is from Didi. Thank you guys for sending your messages.
Wow, okay. I'm still on.
We are still on case.
On case Obad Bemie. I feel like we should play Sarkodie. You know that song, Obad Bemie for
Kim Promise.
I think Rebecca, please let's end the show with that. Grace is for you, coming from K. So we just have a few minutes more. So I feel like let's do like a conclusion thing on what we can do to create longevity for our relationships. Do you want to start?
Yeah, number one, set realistic expectations. Have conversations on those expectations and don't make assumptions. Assumptions are the one thing that's also killing our relationship. Assuming you know what somebody is thinking, assuming you know how somebody is feeling. That's the major thing. That's the major thing that's really, really killing us. Because if you don't assume, if you don't make the assumptions and you don't conclude in your if you don't conclude in your head what could be, but you ask questions and you have the answers that you need, it gives you perspective. It helps you to make the relationship enjoyable for both of you. There's no unnecessary bickering and fights and disappointments here and there because you all knew what you were going into. And when with every situation, you find ways by which you would handle it together. I think that's one of the ways by which you could have a relationship that will stand the test of time.
You guys didn't talk about familiarity though as a reason why relationships are failing.
I was going to come.
You are going to just really used to each other. You are okay. So go
example
ahead.
For that. So there's this point where you're afraid of what Nigerians call see finish over familiarity, where you're concerned that when the person knows too much, you cease to be special in their eyes because now the mystery is all gone. But that's when you actually can be sure that
I have like 59 personalities. How can the mystery ever be gone? You don't know who you are waking up to.
Batali is a whole different.
It's a whole
spectrum of human beings.
This familiarity is the real state of affairs in your life.
The real state of affairs is the 59 personalities.
Knows how careless you are with money. The person knows how maybe careless you are with your life, your choices.
Why should those all be mysteries? There are things that
you see when the person sees you, okay, so the other time a friend of mine had posted on Facebook about how a very good friend of his was about to call off Jay posted this, that his friend was about to call off marrying a lady, and they are both doing well. At least the guy is doing very well for himself, and the guy came clean, showed the lady everything he has, money in the bank, properties, everything, and is asking this career lady who's doing very well for show yours too, and she doesn't want to show anything. It's like, at least let me see your pay slip. And she's still refusing. And this guy thinks that, no, this doesn't. I'm telling him that I think this lady is holding back because she's afraid of C finish. Because maybe the truth is
she's not doing as
well as you think. And now she's worried that you saw her, approached her and liked her because you thought she was that
branding and marketing.
The packaging. Now you are coming to see the real deal. And she's worried, would you still like it? Now she'd rather the relationship breaks off, you leave
for you to
thinking that you leave thinking that she's actually doing well. That you leave when you still find out that she is actually doing horribly.
That person is not emotionally intelligent.
So the C finish thing, the over familiarity, people are holding back because they don't want to tell you, don't want to show you everything. In case it breaks down, you want to still have your dignity intact
and your lies.
And your lies, at least your packaging. So the person thinks that you're still that big girl or that big guy that you really are not.
I get that.
For me, somebody like that, in my opinion, is not very emotionally intelligent.
Of course, the person is not there yet, but then for where they are now, they feel that they need to protect whatever they have. We've been sold on the lie that you need to present yourself how you want people to see you so they can take you. Sometimes it works, actually. People have gotten opportunity. No.
I think that's another show.
As somebody who's lost an opportunity before because I was right out of school and I didn't have a car. Yes, it happened to me. So imagine, I then understood some people that I know
who will borrow their friends' cars to
attend meetings so that they're seen in a certain way and they get the business.
All I have to say is, in conclusion, I would say let's check our egos at the door. If we want our relationships to last and work, both men and women, we need to check our egos at the door.
All right.
Because, I don't think I say this already, but let's check our egos at the door.
Okay.
And
let's listen.
Let's communicate. And then we'll be fine.
Thank you, Esinam Aram Ama. My name is Enimo Animado. This has been Strong and Sassy. And this grace is for you from K. The message, of course, is Obag Bemi.
Obag Bemi. Obag Bemi.
There's a message.
Obag Bemi. I never think that before the love that is again. Obag Bemi.
What else? I'm going to be pumping it. I said that made this one and you die a swan. Just about him, I will ya media. I hold my chin with the witty to me swan. Turn a board in, I'm a beer. They can't sumo me song. In lobby care, can me back home. They can't sumo Moko Dawn. They draw me against my food.
You can't change my life. Ever since she came out, I never felt this way before. Yeah, Moko boy. See, baby, I go hold you. I keep your heart, girl. I never let you go. Come on, oh, bye, baby, yeah. Oh, bye, baby, yeah. I never think that I before the love like this again. Oh, bye, baby, yeah. Oh, bye, baby, oh. Hey, baby, oh.
What else? I'm gonna be pumping it. Yeah, I can see my shorty from the driveway. Up at me pedal, so what can I say? Anything we do it our way. How many times with a kiss? All day. When I jam in the foot like a shize. Me when I me put do a baby. Or coming home from nothing up to the payday. Couldn't do the JJ. See, girl, me a one drop kiss. Can you give it to me like this? Yeah, go shopping, I forget the prices. So we tell me how could you than the ISIS? No matter what put me down and also be a crisis. But the feeling when you wanna do the right thing. Make I put a ring on it and me forget the strike game. Big cars, more money, come sugar, my thing. Listen to the song I sing, but they be pumping.
Oh, my baby, oh. I never think that I could fall in love like this again. Oh, my baby, yeah. Oh, my baby, oh. Hey, baby, oh.
Yeah. Get it over. Good body, sweet face. True love, walking on the beach, hey. Daytime, night shift. I can't wanna hold down, don't be prepaid. You didn't deserve all the Gucci and about me. Yami kwana me pose so chow me. Who don't know me put to this Shaolin. And then my bomb me violin. Surely really like my tea. Or say me exciting. Know your body be enticing. Taking it